All right, first grade naturalists, I'm back, and so are you. Whoops, the book isn't back. There it is. All right, well, now that we're done watching our Scholastic News video and reading the Scholastic News magazine all about Earth Day, and wasn't it cool that one of the people who started Earth Day was a peaceful, problem-solving leader from Wisconsin named Gaylord Nelson? That is so cool. We'll have to do some more learning about him. Anyway, now we're going to read this book called Earth Day Every Day. The author is Lisa Ballard, illustrated by, looks like Zhao Jin, and I'm pretty sure that's a Chinese name. So if you saw Zhao Jin, and I don't know if that's a man or a woman, but if you saw Zhao Jin, the way you could say thank you to them for their excellent book is you could say xie xie. All right, so before we read, we're going to hypothesize whether we think that this is a fiction book or nonfiction. So I'm just going to take a sneak peek at the pages and you decide. You can hypothesize fiction or nonfiction. And when you think you've made up your mind about a hypothesis or a prediction, then pause the video, please, and tell somebody at home what you think, fiction or nonfiction. Okay? And then you can press the play button again and we will start reading. I just have to get back to the first page. Now, while we were talking about hypothesizing and making our prediction, that reminds me, another synonym for hypothesize would be predict. So hypothesize and predict mean about the same thing. All right, so here we go. Chapter 1, What a Mess. It says, my name is Trina. I'm an earthling. I live here on planet Earth. So do trees and bees and manatees. I think she's a poet. Unless you're from Mars, you are an earthling too. If you look at the picture, there she is in the United States. There's a manatee in the ocean. There's some trees. Oops, are there some bees? I'm not sure. All right. So, trees and bees and manatees. All right. Says, people don't always take good care of our home Earth. We do things that hurt the Earth. You see some things that hurt the Earth in this picture? We make air dirty. We throw away too much. We waste power. Oh, see those lights are all on in those houses? Air pollution. She's right. Mom says people should clean up their own messes. Oops. Earthlings made this earth mess, so we earthlings should fix it. It's a job for everyone. Chapter 2, Miss Big Mouth. Before we begin though, since we've already read chapter 1, check your hypothesis. What do you think? Fiction or nonfiction? She says, my brother calls me Miss Big Mouth, so I use my big mouth to help the earth. Last week, I asked everyone I know to plan something for Earth Day. Today was finally the big day. Look, April 22nd. It says Earth Day happens once a year on April 22nd. On that day, people everywhere remember to help the earth. Earth Day also reminds us to take care of Earth all year long. By the way, how do you think she feels about being called Miss Big Mouth? What do you think? How would you feel? At first, I was thinking she probably doesn't like that because I know I wouldn't like that. And so we could infer from how we would feel, we could make a prediction or a hypothesis about how she would feel. But then I thought, well, she's using her big mouth to make the world a better place, so maybe she doesn't mind. Maybe she's okay with being big mouth. The author doesn't tell us how she feels. We just have to infer. And to infer, we have to hypothesize or predict. My teacher taught my class how to plant trees. Huh, that's a great idea. Look at that teacher. He doesn't have any hair. Huh? Do they allow teachers to not have any hair? Everyone got to help. Someday our trees will grow to be much taller than we are. They will make good homes for birds. Here's a label or a caption. It says, you can also plant special gardens to feed bees and butterflies. And trees and plants aren't just helpful to animals, they also clean the air we all breathe. That's true. My friends formed an Earth Day club. We had our first meeting at lunch. Earth's problems mean problems for animals too. Even my favorite tigers are having trouble. So our club decided to save money to help animals. That's a great idea. Look, it says Earth Day Club. Here's a caption. It says, people have formed many groups to help animals in trouble. The groups find ways to protect animals and the places they live. They study the animals to figure out new ways to help them. You can learn more about these groups on the internet. Ask your teacher or a parent to help you look. You know who that reminds me of? It's Jane Goodall. She was dedicated to helping chimpanzees survive. All right, before we start chapter 3, check your hypothesis. What do you think? Fiction? Nonfiction. It's okay to change your prediction if you want. All right, let's see. It says, the title is My Family's Earth Day. My family and neighbors had an Earth Day trade. Everybody brought stuff they didn't need anymore. Earth Day trade. We traded for things that we want. Mom wouldn't let me trade my brother. So I traded an old puzzle for a soccer ball. How do you think the girl, was her name Trina? How do you think she feels about her brother? She wanted to trade him for a soccer ball. How would you feel if your brother called you Big Mouth? You can infer or predict how she feels about him. Maybe she's just a little annoyed by him, but she probably still loves him. How do I know? Well, that's how I always felt about my brothers. Here the caption says, it's better for the earth when we reuse old things. Reuse means to use something again. Then it doesn't end up in the trash. You also don't need to buy new things. Trading and reusing helps the earth. Yep. So they were having a trading event to reuse things to help the earth. Great idea. Not just on Earth Day, but all year long. It says, now my family is having a special Earth night. We turned off the TV and the computer. That way we don't use as much power. Instead, we're playing board games. My dog, Daisy, and I are winning. How would you hypothesize that Trina feels about winning? Do the pictures give you clues? How do you feel about winning? How does her brother feel? The words don't tell you, but you can infer, or you could hypothesize. How's their mom feel about what they're doing? How would your mom feel if you and your brother turned off the TV and the computer and played board games with each other? It says maybe you can use your big mouth too. Together we can talk to everyone about helping the earth. We'll ask people to make it Earth Day every day. It says then we can all find other ways to save the earth tomorrow. The end. Oh, here's an activity about composting with worms. Ooh, that's a good idea. You know, composting is where you take old food and plants and grass clippings and leaves and you put them in a compost bin and you allow them to turn. Over time, they'll turn into new dirt that you can use for your garden. And one thing that helps is worms. I'm going to have to try that. All right, here's a glossary at the end of the book. It's like a mini dictionary. So compost means to turn things like vegetable peels or leaves into something that helps plants grow. Earth Day means a special day for people around the world to help the planet. Earthling means someone who lives on planet Earth. It's probably a little hard to see in this camera, but after each word there's two dots. We call that a colon. And what a colon means, that's what it means. It means. So manatee means a large, peaceful swimming animal. Protect means to keep something from being hurt. And reuse means to use something again. All right, so we're done with the story. I hope you liked it. What do you think? Fiction? Nonfiction? It's hard to know for sure, but my guess is that this is a made-up character, that there really wasn't a person named Trina, but that the story was based on real events, because there really is an Earth Day, and we really do need to clean up the Earth. So I'm going to say that it's fiction, but it's realistic fiction. Did she have a problem in the story? Yeah, we need to clean up the Earth. Did she start solving the problem? Yes. Were there real things in the story? Yes. I would say this is realistic fiction, and realistic fiction is where the author's purpose is to tell a good story and to also teach you a little bit about the real world. So, realistic fiction is kind of a mixture or a blend between fiction and nonfiction. All right, readers, good job. I will look forward to seeing you again when we do some poetry in a little bit. Cheers and happy Earth Day.